The swift-flowing water and jagged rocks makes Great Falls one of the most dramatic and beautiful sights in Fairfax County. But an injury here can pose a challenge to rescue personnel. The men and women of the Great Falls Fire and Rescue Station are specially trained to respond.
Well, the terrain here at Great Falls is, as you can see from this small location where we're filming, is unique. But what we don't see is just the variety of terrain that we have here within the 800 acres that encompasses the park. So not only do we have the rough river-like terrain, but further downstream we have vertical cliffs. Then we also have some variations in terrain in terms of forested areas. So essentially we have almost a wilderness-like area, and that's the challenge, is that we're not simply an ambulance call away or an ambulance ride away, that rescue responders here need to think in terms of how to think about the terrain and what challenges it presents due to its variation in this very small area.
Great Falls is part of the National Park System and is staffed by National Park Service personnel. However, should an emergency occur at Great Falls, Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Station 12 would respond and work with the National Park Service to perform the rescue. All Fairfax County Fire and Rescue recruits are trained in swift water rescue to one of three levels: awareness, operations, or technician. All personnel at Station 12 are trained in swift water rescue to the highest level, the technician level. This training, along with specialized equipment, make an efficient and successful response possible. Because the National Park Service and Fairfax County work together during an emergency, joint training on different rescue techniques is critical.
So what we end up with is a certain set of skills such as backboarding, rough terrain evacuation, how to deal with the vertical environment, and that way a given fire company knows that the park staff can do that given skill and can be relied upon. The park staff gets to know what the county protocols and actions are that they can expect and be prepared for. And so it just makes things far more professional and far more effective for the patient.
Hundreds of people visit Great Falls each year, and most of them safely enjoy the many recreational activities available here. However, of the injuries that do occur at Great Falls, the life-threatening injuries generally involve the water. Some of the fatal incidents involve boaters or climbers who accidentally fell into the water. Others involve people who intentionally enter the water, even though swimming at Great Falls is illegal and highly dangerous.
Currents here in the Potomac River in this section literally are going in every direction possible. And even if one is a good swimmer, they may not realize that the panic may take hold of them because they're not expecting the currents that are going to be forced upon them. And the other thing is, even if one is a great swimmer, it's very, very difficult to swim in strong current.
Most of the drownings that occur at Great Falls Park are during times of low water, when the water looks tranquil. And what people don't realize is, with moving water, you have hidden currents. You have eddies, you have current vectors, you have eddy fences. Even when we conduct swift water rescue classes down here with increased flotation in our flotation devices, the eddy fences are enough to pull us under.
The same dangers that can lead to a fatality or serious injury make rescue efforts difficult. Based on the type of injury, the location of the injured party, and the level of the river, fire and rescue personnel determine what type of rescue would be most effective. A rescue by water can be the most dangerous.
The safety of our personnel is always our #1 priority. So we're always going to start with the lowest risk method first, and that is the lowest risk to us as rescuers. The first thing that we're going to try to do is talk the people out of the water. If we can talk them out of the water, we haven't approached the water, that is the safest thing we can do. If we can't talk a person out of the water, then we're going to try to reach them with something, whether it's something as simple as our hand, or a pike pole, a ladder, a section of inflated fire hose, anything that we can reach out into the water and assist them. If we can't reach them with something, then we're going to throw them something. Typically what we're going to throw is a throw bag. Throw bags are carried on the boats, and they're also carried on every piece of fire and rescue equipment in Fairfax County. If we're off duty, you can throw items like coolers, life jackets, spare tires, anything that will float and help the person keep their airway out of the water. If we can't throw something to them, or possibly if a person is hypothermic or they're panicked and they cannot hold on to an object, then we get into our higher risk methods. The next would be row, and that's taking any kind of boat, personal watercraft, canoe, kayak, anything out into the water to get the person. Next is what we call go and tow. That's where we take a rescuer and tether them to a rope. They are wearing a specially equipped life jacket that has a quick release on it. And when they are tethered, they swim out, they contact the victim, and they're pulled back in. If the line should get hung on something, or if the rescuer reaches the end of the line and is forced underwater, all they simply do is pop a release and they are free of the rope. If we can't send a swimmer out, then our last choice is to use the helicopter.
Depending on the location of the injured party, it may be difficult or impossible for rescue personnel to remove them by boat. In this case, a basket and rope system would be used to move or hoist the patient to level ground.
Basically, stay out of the water at Great Falls Park. If you're a paddler, you're going down there to canoe or kayak, make sure you get proper instruction before you attempt these things. If you're hiking along the water's edge, be sure you're footing. One rule that we have here is if we're within 10 feet of the water's edge, we have a life jacket and helmet on. Obviously, someone visiting the park is not going to have their life jacket and helmet on, but just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of your footing, keep your children away from the edge of the water. Even if you fall in, there are currents that will pull you out into the middle of the channel and drown you.
And you have to take those things into account if you're going to be responsible and use this place in a responsible manner so that taxpayer dollars, regardless of whether it's federal dollars or county dollars, don't get wasted trying to help you out when you could have prevented your own accident.